Today we're going to try Sonic's new Strawberry Shortcake Snowball Slush Ice Slush Ice. Very confusing name, I gotta be honest. Essentially what it is, which you can't see because this is not clear like it is on the app, is strawberries mixed with shortcake flavor, according to them. So I guess it's just some kind of chemical flavor that they mix together in a slush. So that's like up to here. And then the snowball is a bit of ice cream they put on top. That's why they call it the Strawberry Shortcake Snowball Slush Ice, or Ice Slush, because there's a little snowball of ice cream and some sugar crystals, I guess. Very confusing name. Honestly, probably the worst name that they could have come up with. Even the lady who worked at Sonic had no idea what it was called. She was trying to give it to me, and they repeat your order. So she's like, here's your pretzel twist, which the pretzel twists are amazing, by the way. And here's your strawberry, and I looked at her, and she looked at me, and we had no idea what to say. And then she just said, oh, here's the new one. Bam, handed it to me. Great. Thanks for the motorcycle, by the way. But yeah, she was just like, here's the new one. I don't know what it's called because it's very confusing, and even the concept is very confusing. So we have a shortcake flavor, but not any shortcake pieces or anything like that, with real strawberries, with a dollop of ice cream on top, not swirled in, just on top, with some sugar also poured on top, sugar crystals, I guess, because that's what it says in the app. I'm just going with what it says. If you actually look into it, you can see like the flavors, because they do customization and you can customize, and it says there's sugar crystals on top. So that's what we got: strawberry shortcake snowball slush, ice slush something. I can't remember what the last word is, but there you go. Very confusing. I guess you'll see it in the title because I'll look it up. But anyway, let's just give it a shot. I'm kind of curious how the slush part is going to taste with the shortcake flavoring. I don't know what that is supposed to really taste like, but we're going to find out. So here we go. Well, I figured out the name in between here when I was drinking it. I looked it up again. Strawberry Shortcake Snowball Slush Float. Float is the last word, and I guess that is pretty imperative to the item itself, because it does have the ice cream on top. But then again, a float would be a little bit different. The ice cream would generally go down to the bottom, and then you also have the snowball part, which is supposed to be the ice cream. So it's like a double reference to the same thing. I would think Strawberry Shortcake Float would be just fine. I don't even think you need the snowball part, or just, yeah, I think just Strawberry Shortcake Float would work really well. Cut it down, brevity is the soul of wit, all that good stuff. But anyway, the actual taste is pretty surprisingly good. And it's interesting, I guess it's interesting that they even put the ice cream there at all, because mostly what I'm tasting is the strawberry slush with the with the shortcake flavoring added. And it works surprisingly well. I was kind of dubious about it, because as I said, on the app it just says shortcake flavoring, so you have no idea what it is. I assume it's just some kind of chemical that they made up and they drop in there or whatever, some kind of sauce or something. I don't know how they made it. I don't know how they get to it, but it does have a real legit like shortcake taste, and I love strawberry shortcake, like real strawberry shortcake. Get a little one of those little cakes and cut up your strawberries, put them with a little sugar, put them in the fridge for a while, put them on top with some whipped cream or something like that. I love it. I'm a big fan of strawberry shortcake, and I guess that's why they put the ice cream on top, is to kind of reference the fact that most strawberry shortcakes will have like whipped cream on top. But it doesn't really integrate. The ice cream kind of melts down a little bit, but it really doesn't integrate with the slush itself. It's like two separate things. It's two separate layers. So the ice cream didn't really come into it that much until I, forced the situation by getting a little ice cream on a spoon. But otherwise, I'm just drinking the slush, and then I'm going to end up with some ice cream at the end. That's pretty much what's happening right now. It's not really a mixture. I feel like this would be better if it wasn't a float at all, and it was kind of a swirl situation. If they could somehow like swirl the vanilla ice cream into the strawberry shortcake slush, I think it would work much, much better, because you do want that creamy element. You do want the ice cream, whipped cream element with your strawberry shortcake, because it adds something to it. but the way it is structured here, it doesn't work out. And one of the other big reasons it doesn't work quite as it should is another complaint I've had about Sonic in a lot of places for a while: the straws. Everybody needs to understand, but especially Sonic, you need to get a wider straw. Every fast food place that does shakes or any kind of ice cream or whatever, you need to get a wider straw. I don't know why McDonald's somehow has the widest straw when they don't really need it, but you always get a wide straw with your sodas. But here I am with this slush, and the problem is Sonic uses real fruit, which is great. I love Ocean Waters, I get them all the time, and cherry limeades. This becomes a problem with those too, which is that once you start getting down to it, you have a lot of solid chunks of real fruit in here, and you cannot suck those through the straw, so the straw will be constantly clogged, and it's just a huge hassle. You can't just drink this casually. You have to continually move it around, try to like get the strawberry pieces out of there so you can actually drink the slush, and this happens a lot with Sonic. You just need to get a wider straw. You need a straw wide, a little bit wider, so that you can actually get some of the pieces of fruit in the straw to go all the way through and not get stuck, or come up with some other solution. I'm not an expert, but the straw is just not working. The only thing I can think of simply is to widen it. I don't know what else you could really do. Then again, I understand why they don't, I think. Just because, look, I'm not a business guy. I don't really know much about anything. But from what I understand, based on kind of like just research and just general looking into things that I find interesting, changing a straw is probably a bigger ask than you might think. Like, I can sit here and say, all right, you guys need bigger straws, it's easy, when it might, in reality, it's probably not very easy to do, because there's thousands of Sonic locations. They probably all source their straws from a certain company. They probably have contracts with the company. So if they want a bigger straw, they're going to have to work out a different contract, either with the same company or with a different company, and then the price is going to increase. And even if, say, they pay right now, they pay 2 cents a straw or 1 cent a straw. Let's just say they pay 1 penny a straw. Let's say that's their wholesale cost, is 1 penny for a straw. What if they get a wider straw? It's more plastic. They need to pay 2 cents now. It's double. Might not seem like a big thing, but if you're the Sonic organization and you're going through hundreds of thousands of straws a month, it's going to end up costing you lots of money. So I do understand why it is the way it is, because it's kind of entrenched, and actually changing it probably would cost them a lot of time and money. But I don't know how much, but I think it would be worth it, guys, because you guys put out a lot of interesting drinks that run into this problem every single time. It's it's just so inconvenient. Like, it makes it to where I don't even want to order them sometimes, because it's such a hassle just to get through it. And I love the real fruit, so it's like, from one side you're doing the right thing because the real fruit pieces are really nice, but you're just screwing up bad on the straw. So that's my argument for the straw. You guys should pay whatever it costs to upgrade your straws, because you need it, in my opinion. But I guess I can understand why they don't. Anyway, back to the drink. It's great. I really do like it. I just think that the execution of it is not perfect, and it could be done a little bit better, even though the actual strawberry shortcake flavor is excellent. It's spot on. And also the name really needs to change, because I still can't even remember it, and I'm doing a whole review on it. Strawberry Shortcake Snowball Slush Float, I believe is correct, but 90% of people are never going to remember that when they see it. Like, you see an ad for it, I mean, like, maybe it's not too big of a problem, because you might see an ad for it and be like, give me the strawberry shortcake drink, but you really should come up with a better name. I mean, that seems like something that should have been easily fixed before this came out. But again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a marketer. I don't know how they work. I don't know how they came to this name. They probably have a whole process where they came up with this name, but it's just not working. But anyway, Sonic's Strawberry Shortcake Snowball Slush Float. See, I have to think about it every time. That's bad. That's not what you want when you're marketing, I think. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a good effort from Sonic. I like the idea. I like the actual flavor of it. I just feel like both the name and the actual execution of the drink could be improved. just by some subtle things. Just integrate the ice cream into it, I think would make it probably worth a 5 out of 5. But as it is, it makes the ice cream part a kind of a afterthought, which is why I don't really want to give it a 5 out of 5, even though I really do like it. So that's that. I'm not going to say the name again. 4 out of 5, and I will see you all next time.